And now in Mass Effect, we are finally on the meat and potatoes of the game. The search for Saren, along with the conduit. From here I have technically 4 routes. I can go to one of the 2 planets that Saren was spotted. I could go look for the daughter of Matriarch Benezia, or I could travel around and do side missions. What I usually tend to do is knock out the mission for the Matriarch's daughter first, largely because that fills up the party roster. Liara T'Soni is the only crew member missing from the group, and having her on board means that I get all the proper conversation pieces that happen after missions. So, that's what I'm going to do first. You know, for a second there, I almost thought that this game was the one where you needed to worry about space gasoline in order to travel around. But that was Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 had a few odd choices. Oh, and I almost forgot. The Pinnacle Station, the worst DLC for Mass Effect, and Asteroid X57, where you get to punch a mountain into space. So there's that too. But like Mass Effect introduced the limited amount of fuel to travel around, and satellites you had to launch at planets. For what it did right in regards to upgrading the action, it kind of downgraded some of the other elements. But let's go to Liara's dig site. I don't know which system it's on, so we're just going to start checking all of them. You know, now that I think about it, it's probably written in the journal what system cluster I should actually be going to. Unfortunately, you can't actually check the journal. Prothean data disk. I probably should have read that. You can't check the journal from that specific space. Oh, it's more artifacts for me to collect. There we go. Our last location was in the Artemis Tau cluster, so I think I'm in the right place. But yeah, the fact that you have to keep kind of bouncing. Oh, nope, I'm in Sparta. This is Sparta. So, what you can do is you can examine the planets, and most of them are just going to tell you way more information than you possibly ever could need to know. This is for very specific Mass Effect fans. Like, do you really need to know that Tremenray is a dwarf planet? Also, B is to exit, not to back out. X is to back out.
Commander, I'm picking up a signal from the planet's surface. It looks like an automated distress beacon.
We're not going to worry about landing just yet. And actually, I probably will just head straight to the Artemis Tau cluster first. Oh. This is the entire Artemis Tau cluster. That is the closest information this game gives you. She's somewhere on these multiple solar systems. Good luck. such an unusual terrestrial world. And then there's usually a planet or something hidden in the asteroid belt. So you gotta kind of like move your cursor around and take a look. Oh, nope. And the early version of surveying planets. All you have to do is just go to the planet, hit the button. Okay, so I don't think this is Liara's distress signal, but I'm just going to, I'm just going to go down to kind of complete this system. Because I believe... I think I'm just confusing this game with Mass Effect 2 again. It's been a while. Alright, let's see what they're all distressed about. Carbon dioxide and nitrogen. I probably can't breathe while I'm down there. Let's bring along these two. You know, I said I wasn't going to do side missions first, but already I'm driving the Mah-ko, so I clearly am a huge liar. Ah, the Mah-ko. The all-terrain vehicle of the future. See this open space? This open space is good. It's fine. See this giant mountain? That's gonna be a pain in the ass to climb. I'll probably want to drive around it. Let's see. So the distress signal is actually just straight ahead. So let us take a look. Oh, by the way, the Mah-ko has its own set of guns. We got a cannon, got machine guns, and like the other weapons, they still use cooldowns. Infinite ammo, you don't need to reload, but you got cooldowns. Now, I believe this should be a I forget the name of the giant worm creature you fight, but that is what I'm expecting to find here. Ah, yes, a pressure maw. Watch this amazing gameplay. Oh, so action-packed. So exciting. It kind of looks like it's hitting this vehicle, but I'm not taking any more damage, so I'm guessing I'm not getting hit. Like later on in Mass Effect 3, there's a really cool scene involving a Thresher Maw. So the Thresher Maw gets redeemed eventually, but it takes quite a while before you get there. And you do fight a few of these throughout this game. What was that? That's also probably the last time I'm actually going to go through the entire process of fighting an individual Thresher Maw. Most likely I'm just going to cut from like meet and greet to dead Thresher Maw.
Soldiers. Looks like they were lured here by the distress beacon.
Looks like these men were under Admiral Kahoku's command. He'd want to know what happened here.
Okay. So level up, let's get... Why am I giving Garrus any skills in electronics when I'm already making Talizora Naraya the expert? I do not know. I was not expecting these questions. Now, just because you've defeated the Thresher Moth doesn't mean there's nothing to do. You still have a whole grid to explore, with tons of things to find, like mountains, crevices, crags, rocks, hills, valleys, fjords. Oh, what is that, sir? What is that? Oh, I'm sorry. No, there are no fjords in this game. But you have all the mineral-rich territory to navigate at your own free will, your own discretion, and all you get is these dumb little jump jets that are dumb. But then I suppose they prevent you from taking too much damage when you fall away. Damn you, Halo controls. A mummified Solarian. You have found Captain Millen's identification tag. How it ended up here is impossible to know for sure. Maybe it was on his body. Maybe that's how his identification tag ended up here. Truly a mystery that will never be solved. And then you've got the red zone, the area of the map that you cannot truly explore. Now you can see that we've got the distress signal, we've got the mummified Solarian, which I believe was previously referred to as the artifact. And then we've got the debris. But somewhere on the map, there can be more minerals. More secrets to find. And the only way to do it is to just drive by it and hope you see the icon on the map. Which means driving over all these not quite meant to be driven hills and mountainous terrain. And you do this on many maps. The Mah-ko outstays its welcome. That's why for these sequences, I'm probably just going to cut directly to events. Anytime something happens, anytime I find something, that way you're not just sitting there watching me drive this Mah-ko all day. I mean, like, you might be into that. Like, I don't know if there's like a YouTube channel out there right now which is just Mass Effect Mah-ko driving. Like, there's like whole videos dedicated to watching a driver, a skilled driver, attempt to climb impossible sheer faces of rock. Hours upon hours spent circling the map, pixel hunting in a way that would make old adventure games seem anal. Like, surely that must exist. And if not, somebody might eventually make it up one day. I'm not that person. Ah, do you see it? Out there in the distance. A rich source of minerals of some kind. The trick is to get to it. Now, I'm probably doing it the hard way. There's probably an easier way to accomplish this task. A polonium deposit.
En route.
And of course, hacking, surveying, claiming artifacts, and decrypting are all done with the same minigame. And now, the artifact shows up on the map. Now, one thing to note, I thought that based on the description, the air would not be breathable. But as you can see, there's no real effect on the air being mostly carbon dioxide and nitrogen. I believe there are going to be other worlds in which just stepping out of the Mah-ko, like the Mah-ko is like a temperature-controlled environment. The outside world is not. And just leaving the Mah-ko does cause damage. So if you're surveying minerals or surveying artifacts, it's always good to position your Mah-ko in such a fashion that you can step out and step back in without too much trouble. Alright, and we're done with that planet, so we could move on. Hopefully the next system will contain our main mission. Let's see, our choices are Gnosis, Athens, and Macedon. I'm going to guess Athens this time. And we get some information about the planet, about Proteus. Did you know that Proteus has 90% oceanic cover? That's the kind of cover that you'll find in Proteus. Nausicaa? Circe is a modestly sized hydrogen-helium gas giant. It's just a modestly sized giant. It's very humble. It doesn't tease the lesser gas giants, or the gas planets that can't even be referred to as giants anymore. It's a humble planet. It's modest. And Pharos is distant. Only a cursory examination. Scans of the planet Pharos revealed an abandoned base on its moon. The recon team found nothing of interest, but much of the debris was marked with the Magna Colony insignia. Well, mankind has apparently been reputed as traveling about the stars and creating colonies. So it's not a surprise that we end up finding failed colonies as well. So apparently that wasn't... So let's check Gnosis. Let's see, we got a couple of asteroid belts, yep. Like this metallic asteroid. It's metal rich. Does not contain any country music. Scans of this large asteroid field have revealed several deposits of platinum. And then we got another asteroid field. But there's nothing. Whoop. Let's start from the inside out. We got Vestos. There is little of interest on this desolate world. That planet is nothing to me. Theros is a distant but rich industrial world claimed by the Human Systems Alliance. So this, I believe, is in fact the mission we want to go to. So let's examine the planets around us, like Zakros. And Armeni. Not Armani, this is the Armeni planet. Arcanus. Arcanes? Arcanes? Alright, let's just go grab T'Soni. She was on Therum, I think. Let's bring Garrus Vicarian and Talizora Naraya. Let's change things up. Let's bring Ashley and Caden. They're nobody's favorite characters, but at least give them a little bit of time to shine before one of them dies. And it's gonna be Ashley. Now, I would argue the Mah-ko sections in...
Commander, I'm picking up some strange readings. Really strange, like off the damn charts. It looks like it's coming from an underground complex a few clicks away from the drop zone.
When you're doing the side missions in the Mah-ko, the side missions always feel terrible to play because, like, these are maps that weren't necessarily designed to be levels. They were designed to be more realistic terrain that you're driving over, as if you're driving over an alien planet, which is fine, but it's still a game. Like, it's not quite exciting to have to figure out how to climb this giant wall. Whereas anytime you drive a Mah-ko in a main mission, you're usually kind of given a linear path. There's more of a level designed around your usage of the Mah-ko. I'll give her a sniper rifle stuff. And soldier stuff. Oh my god. Oh. Phew. My face loaded in for a second there. Ooh. You know, that's when I know I'm having a really bad morning. When things are really bad, right at the beginning of the day, is when my face doesn't quite load in, and I've got like no eyebrows, and I've got like no texture on my cheeks. It's like when a few minutes go by, like I've had breakfast, I start to wake up a little bit, my face loads in. That's when things start to get normal again. But not until then. Now the dangers here, there's still going to be dangers even though I'm on the Mah-ko. They're going to be like cannons I believe there are gonna be turrets that I'm gonna have to deal with, enemies. Like, the Mah-ko has its shield, but it is not invincible. It is not Boris from GoldenEye. And even though this is kind of like mostly flat terrain, the Mah-ko still dips and dives all over the place. Yeesh. But I guess that's a difficult toss-up. How do you make terrain appear realistic while also being traversable in a way that's not necessarily frustrating? Right? The Geth armature. Now eventually we're gonna have to fight these on foot. But in the Mah-ko, these guys aren't that much trouble. I've still got my shield. And I believe that'll eventually refill? I think. Really, really slow, like. Really slow, like that. The shield doesn't have places to go. Doesn't have people to see. It's gonna do its own thing in its own time. Don't rush it. Why are you rushing it?
This route's a no-go. They have height and cover.
I don't think we can take that strong point head on.
Not with my jumping technique. Whoa. It works on everybody. Thresher maws, Geth turrets. But let's do what the game wants and let's drive around. And it has perspective-based controlling. No, I've been hit by a missile. And yeah, when you're in the Mah-ko, these guys, they're not that much trouble. And actually, when you get to the main game, you're going, sorry, not the main game, the other side missions. There are other, on just regular planets. There are going to be sections in which, you ride down on planets, and then there are bad guys on the planets to fight. Even though you've got a Mah-ko, they still try to fight you. It does not work very well for them.
All targets down.
Oh yeah, and since I gave Ashley sniper rifle abilities, I'll give her that. And I don't really need to open up that gate. It's just there for completionist's sake. And since she is not in danger, she doesn't have any place to be real quick like, so she's not going to sprint anymore. As you can see, our very, very linear level. Let's add some more to barrier. Barrier is pretty useful. And let's give you some throw and some.
Got it.
Now note, there are 2 rooms. I believe there should be stuff in both sides. Okay.
Perimeter clear.
Almost forgot. Gotta open up the gate. Now I presume that since this is a mostly safe planet, they've taken their helmets off. There's an option to always keep them off, though for some reason this time I haven't used it yet. But since this is a planet that can make for habitat for life, that's probably why they're not worried about it. Yeah. And then we got some more random geth on our way. They will not stand much of a chance, but they'll try. And you know what? If you never try, you always fail. Ah! See, those guys, they tried. The cannon has infinite range for some reason. These were simpler times, when we had linear corridors to drive through, and we were happy. Yeah, the Geth don't quite last. The regular Geth soldiers don't quite last long to regular fire. Yep. That still considers myself in combat, so gotta go in, find more goons, end their lives. Oh, nope, there's just more base. I think I just assumed that was the end of that section, but I'm clearly wrong. Did the... Nope. I forget which game gave the... I guess there's only 2 games where you drive the Mah-ko, so... I guess Andromeda would be the one that gave it the boost button, which is very useful. Oh, I'm actually almost at the end of the level. Or at least this section of the area. There's the exit. Oh, nope, nope. Nope, there we go. And the wall to basically say, yeah, you're done driving the Mah-ko now. There's no getting through here. Enemy's probably wondering, like, what on earth is Commander Shepard trying to do? Alright, let's get at it. And I believe this is where you fight your first, like, larger Geth unit. Excellent. Yeah, that didn't last that long. I guess I go this way? Yep. New conflicts. No, I can't take cover with this, but... oh yeah. Barrier. The tricky part for being a shotgun user is you generally don't have the best range. I say generally because this shotgun's doing pretty well. Whoop. And I'm doing pretty well considering my previous failures on Eden Prime. Okay, this is where the big battle happened, I think. Oh, you fight the weird like spider creature guys who just jump from wall to wall. I think. You know, if I say the words "I think" after every sentence I say, that enables me to be completely wrong about things. Because then if somebody says, "Hey, hey Nick, you were completely wrong about that," and I'll be like, my memory was not absolute. I just thought it was there, but nope. Okay, Aiden's dead. And there are these guys that are being a huge pain in the foot. And Ashley's dead. Alright, I guess I'll... what button do I push? Unity. And then let's use some Metagel. Maybe I should use the pistol for this one. That way I can at least get some range out of this. Ashley, you're dead again? Mass Effect 1. Or how I learned to never trust my AI companions. Thank you for watching this episode of Mass Effect. If you've still got the itch for more content, why not give one of these links a try? Got some questions or comments? You can comment down below or send it on over to itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. That's itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. So long, folks.